What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. And in this video, I want to talk about our 2024 cold calling numbers. And I want to break them down for you so that you can see not only how much money we made from cold calling in 2024, but more importantly, how much cold calling it took to get those deals, right? So I have a lot of people that will reach out to me and they'll say stuff like, hey, Nick, I've made 100 cold calls and I don't have any serious leads yet. Or I've been calling for 2 weeks and I don't have any deals yet. And the thing is, a lot of people just really underestimate how many calls you have to make to actually get a deal. And let me explain this a little bit. So if you think about a lead, right, which is the most important thing for a real estate investor, somebody that wants to sell their house. Without that, you have nothing. So that's what everybody's looking for. Every real estate investor, every wholesaler, they're all looking for people that want to sell their homes. And it's expensive to pay for those leads to come to you, right? If you're going to be paying for internet leads, you're going to be spending, at least in Tampa Bay, the average is going to be between $300 and $400 per lead, right? For a lead coming into you that says, hey, I want to sell my property. They filled out a form online or something like that. So if you don't have the amount of money to spend on $300-$400 leads, well, your other alternative is going out and earning those leads, right? Going out and finding them yourself. And cold calling is one of the best ways to do that. Now, what you're saving in money, you're spending in time. But at me starting out, I couldn't spend $300 on a lead. I barely had $300 to spend on things that I wanted to do, right? Like I didn't have $300 just blow on contact information and hope that I was going to be able to get a deal. So I had to go and earn those leads, right? And now I've got a team that does all that for me. We have other marketing channels. I pay for internet leads. We have radio ads, all that sort of stuff. But cold calling is kind of the backbone of our company. Now, it probably only makes up around half, maybe even a little bit less than half of the amount of revenue that we get every year. But from a deal perspective, like consistency perspective, cold calling, once you systematize it and you get down cold calling and the follow-up process, this can be your most predictable marketing channel. And it has been for us. And that's why I'm breaking it down here so that you guys can actually see it. So let's go into this and take a look. So our cold calling in detail, this is a slide from the end of the year meeting that I had with my management team. And we had the meeting the week of Christmas. So that's why you see an approximation here, because this was before the year was over. So we were using our weekly averages to kind of predict, okay, we're going to be at around 1 million by January 1st. But these are the numbers as of December, I think it was 23rd of 2024, right? So starting up at the top, we have 984,000 calls, which is about 83,000 a month, right? Now that's a dial. That's not a conversation. Down here is our conversations. We had 38,375 contacts or conversations, which is about 3,200 a month. But I want to take a break here because I see a lot of people that they mismark contacts, right? They'll mark a contact as they'll mark either a wrong number, a voicemail, maybe a disconnected number. They mark those as contacts, and that can kind of throw off all of these numbers. And you're gonna see how that would work. But you want to make sure that you're accurately You want to make sure that you're actively categorizing calls, right, as a contact or a non-contact. So for us in our company, a contact is only when you have a conversation with the homeowner or, somebody very close to them, the spouse, kid, parent, something like that. But that is what is called a contact or a conversation in our company. And now the 38,000 conversations or 3,200 per month on average, that produces 974 leads or 82.5 on a monthly basis, right? Now, those are not necessarily qualified leads. So there's a difference in our company, again, between a lead and a qualified lead. So I don't want to have my virtual assistants overqualifying leads on the phone. I want them to have a good conversation, get a little bit of information, and then send it into our CRM to let my lead manager and my acquisition manager from that point on further qualify that lead, build the rapport, and determine if they're going to be a good lead for us or not, right? And if you think about it, as real estate investors, we are only serving about 4 to 6% of the real estate market, which are the people that are in distress, right? Statistically speaking, 4 to 6% of any real estate market are in distress. The other 94 to 96% are not in distress, right? They're going to hire an agent. That agent's going to they're going to fix up the property a little bit. The agent's going to come, they're going to bake cookies, make the house nice and clean. They're going to put on some music, do the champagne, all the open house, all of that sort of stuff, right? That's great. That's what most of the market does. Us as wholesalers, as investors, we are serving that small subset of people that they don't want to deal with all that because they need their money today, right? They are willing to trade the equity in their property for the speed and convenience of a cash offer that's just done deal. They don't have to worry. They don't have to wait for, lending, appraisals, inspections, all that sort of stuff. Those are the people that we serve. So again, if we talk to 974 people that say that they're interested in selling their house, that doesn't necessarily mean that 974 people are willing to sell their house to an investor, right? And you're going to see that as we break it down a little bit further. So let's keep going. So our contact rate, which is in our average contact rate for 2024, which is really just our conversations divided by the amount of calls that we made, right? So how many calls does it take us to get somebody on the phone? And you can see that here too. Our calls per contact is about 25.6, right? So we have to make about 25.6 dials to get somebody on the phone. That's the actual homeowner. But not only that, but we have to have 39 contacts to get a lead. So we need to dial 25.6 numbers to get somebody on the phone. And we need to get 39 people on the phone to get one person that's interested in selling the property, right? But then again, going down into another step, out of those 39 people, the one person that says, yeah, I'm interested in selling my house, out of 39 people that say they're interested in selling their house, only one of them turns into a contract, right? Now, maybe some of them we lose to other investors or whatever it is, but my acquisition team is pretty darn good at their job. So we can kind of reasonably assume that out of 39 people that we talk to, only one of them are actually going to be a good deal for us, right? So you can see here, leads per contract, 39. So going back up to the top up here, we make 25 dials and we get somebody on the phone. We get 39 people on the phone and we get one lead. We get 39 leads and now we have a contract, right? And you can see over here the average monthlies, 83,000 dials turns into 3,200 conversations, which turns into 82 monthly leads. And that turns into about 2 deals a month, a little bit over 2 deals a month. And those produce $20,000 on average, right? And over the year, we closed about $513,000 in cold calling revenue, right? Now, that doesn't include the pending deals or any of our other marketing channels. This is just cold calling. But again, it's kind of cool. You can work all of this backwards. And now I can take these numbers and kind of predict what our 2025 is going to look like. And if I want to make, let's say, $1 million next year in cold calling, well, then I need to up all these numbers, right? Or not necessarily these, because these theoretically will stay the same, but we need to make more calls to have more contacts, to get more leads, to get, right? So you can kind of, again, work backwards. And it's really cool once you've actually systematized and measured stuff like this so that you can create a predictable and scalable marketing channel. And the cool thing is, like I was saying, right, you spend $300 to $400 for a lead in like PPC or whatever it is. I think with our radio ads on average, I was spending like $275 per lead. So it's very expensive versus these leads. I think we were getting leads for like $50, less than $100 per lead. And so when I look at it over the year, and we want to talk about ROI, which as a business owner, when I'm looking at our different marketing channels, it's all about ROI, right? For every dollar I spend in marketing, how much does that produce in revenue, right? So over the whole 2024, I spent about $100,000 in cold calling. So you break that down to around $8,300 a month, right? For our cold callers, for our phone numbers, for our data, for our dialers, our systems, all of that sort of stuff. It cost me about $8,000 a month. But looking at this, 2 deals a month on average for $20,000. So let me ask you, would you spend $8,000 to make $40,000? Most people are going to say yes, right? If you do the math on that and you take out what I spent, it's about a 400% ROI. That means every dollar I spend on cold calling produces about $4 after expenses. It produces $5, but I spend one of those dollars, right? So for every dollar I spend, I get 4 back. Well, 5 back, but I keep 4, right? Because of the net. So that's pretty cool. Those are pretty cool numbers. And it allows you to, again, be able to look back and see, okay, am I making enough dials to make the money that I want to make or to get the deals that I want to get, right? Because like I said, I have a lot of people that will reach out to me and they'll say, Nick, I've been calling for X amount of time and I don't have any deals. And I'll show them something like this and they're like, oh man, yeah, I need to make way more cold calls, right? Now, one thing I will say, if you're calling on your own, you'll probably be able to get, after you've built up your skills a little bit, you know how to talk to sellers, right? You'll probably be able to get, here, let me go back to this. You will probably be able to get these numbers down a little bit, right? I'm confident that if I was making these calls by myself, I wouldn't need 40 conversations, 39 conversations to get a lead. And I probably wouldn't need 39 leads to get a deal, just because, of course, there's nobody that knows the business like I do. As a business owner, I have amazing employees. My team is unbelievable, but they will never care about the business as much as I do, right? It's what it is. That's why would anybody care about what I've built from the beginning as much as I have, right? So again, where I'm going with this is I believe, and this is for you guys out there that maybe you don't have a team yet, you're making those calls yourself, you should probably be able to get better numbers than that 39 contacts per lead and that 39 leads per deal after you've sharpened your skills, right? This is with virtual assistants from primarily the Philippines making cold calls, which the numbers are just, they're going to have to on average make more calls to get the same amount of deals. So my encouragement to you is if you don't know any of these numbers, start looking at these numbers, right? If you have a list or if you have a history of calls, if you got a dialer, you should be able to get all of this data. Go in, take a look at it, at least be able to get your contact rate, how many leads or how many conversations you have to get a lead. That's a good place to start, because then you can say, okay, if I want leads, I know it takes me 20 calls to get a lead. So I need to make, if I want to have 5 leads, I need to make 100 calls, right? So you can kind of, again, work things back. And so you're not just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping that it sticks. You can actually kind of plan things and strategize based on numbers and not just guesswork. And that's what takes people from being running and gunning and just doing it on their own to an actual business owner, an actual entrepreneur that is like using numbers and data to make their decisions, right? So I hope this video helped. I hope it gives you a little bit of clarity on your own marketing channels. And like I said, if you're not measuring your inputs versus your outputs, please do, or else you're kind of just guesswork. You're kind of just doing guesswork at that point, right? So awesome. Well, thank you guys very much. I hope this video helped. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.